Hi guys, this is going to be a kind of mixed bag of stuff today. There's been various threads that I've been trying to look through and catch up, but there's no point, so I'm just going to try and answer some questions from various threads and probably no questions from a lot. So first up, the CD that I'm listening to at the moment is this, which is the 3 EPs by the Beta Band, which also happens to be the answer to one of my questions, which is if you could have any one album reissued or released for the first time on vinyl, what would it be? And for me, it would be this. Another question, again, I think it was Mr. Hall of Fame, asked was your favourite music DVDs, and this would be my choice, which is Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders of Mars motion picture. I didn't really see it for the first time by mistake, but I was kind of a bit of a Bowie fan. I really liked war films at the time, and I'd recorded Merry Christmas Mr. Lawrence off the TV, and this just happened to come on after it, and that was me kind of hooked on Bowie from then on. Brilliant, well worth a watch. And then another question was, I was just getting on to TheGrecianThunder. Hi. His baby's first thread, which he asked albums of inspiration. This would have to be my first one. I don't have it on vinyl yet. I really want it, but I want it to be one of the ones that I kind of find in a shop. But I might just have to bite the bullet and get it off eBay. I don't know. But Elastica's first album, I was kind of late getting into music, so I was already kind of 17 by the time this came out. But this was the first album I actually went out and bought for myself. I think I got it on cassette. This is like a CD, obviously, but I don't have it yet, and it's probably the best, certainly one of the best, if not the best, of all the kind of Britpop albums. It's just really good. This would be another one I would have. This always, I don't know whether I'd say it inspires me to do anything, but it certainly always brings me out of a slump. If I'm feeling kind of down, I can put this on. It always cheers me up. It's Shankar, Family and Friends. George Harrison was always my kind of favourite member of the Beatles, and this album's just really good. Which leads me on to one of the other questions: any albums of disappointment. Well, I've picked a couple, but they both kind of disappoint for different reasons. This one, first one, normally when you see this, you think, that's going to be something good. Especially when it's coupled with a cover that looks like this. Which is an album by a guy called Mylon. But then after I bought it off eBay and got it home, I saw the back cover, and you see people like this, and song titles like this. Maybe not quite as good. You realise they're all standing in a church. What can I say? It was a big disappointment. but it's still a really cool cover, so I'm going to keep it anyway, even if I don't really like the music that's on it. So that was a big disappointment, because it was something that I didn't think it was going to be. The second album of disappointment is this one, which is The Noise Made by People by Broadcast. It's on the Warp label, which is always brilliant, and it's a brilliant album. I mean, it probably would be one of my favourite albums. But it's one of those albums that appeared at a certain time in my life when I was going through a bit of a hard time, and now any time I listen to it, it just reminds me of that. So the covers, the spine's all faded, white as well. It should be yellow, but it's gone white, so that's a disappointment. It reminds me of a bad time in my life. That's a disappointment. The lead singer, can't remember what her name is now, she died at the start of the year. That's a disappointment. So yeah, brilliant album, but ruined, which is a disappointment. So that's kind of answered all the kind of thread questions that I could think of that were relevant to me today. So I just flicked through oh no, actually there was a couple more. Again, I can't remember who it was. I think it was possibly Mr. Hall of Fame. I certainly saw it on one of his threads. It was maybe him answering the question. But the question was, do you think there will be anyone that will become kind of legendary in the likes of kind of Bob Dylan or Neil Young that are around in music today? And there's two people that I think will be. Whether other people have already mentioned these or not, I'm not sure, because I don't have time to watch every single message. But the first one would be not necessarily the White Stripes, but Jack White himself. Just a brilliant guy, amazing guitar player. Not just the White Stripes, but also the stuff he does with the Dead Weather. And the Raconteurs as well. Some nice triple. Yeah, so I kind of really like Jack White, but at the same time I hate what he's done with the whole kind of Third Man Records thing, and almost doing limited editions for the sake of doing limited editions, and stepping across the line of having things that are so limited they're unavailable, or, you know, they should be limited enough so they're available to the general, you know, so people that are fans can buy them, and not just the kind of elite few that are either lucky enough to be there at the time or have the money to be able to forking out for it. And on a second note, one of my personal favourites would be Damon Albarn, who I think deserves to be seen maybe in better light than he sometimes is. Blur, one of my favourite bands, great album. But also the stuff he's done with these guys, the Gorillaz, is definitely the kind of driving force behind them. And these guys, the Bad and the Queen. So they would be my votes for people that in the future people look back and go, yeah, fair enough, they were great. I don't think there's anything else really. Oh yeah, there was one thing, like I've said to a couple of people, there's no, well, there is a record shop but it doesn't really sell any records, and so everything that I buy is kind of online or charity, I think you call them thrift shops in the States. And I went for a rummage yesterday and I found this, which I was quite pleased about, for 20p I think it was, which is Feliciano by Jose Feliciano, which is a brilliant album, and that